How's it going, everyone? So today we're going to go over some foam rolling and tennis ball use. So different names: pressure therapy, self massage, any type of these things really. So the first thing about it is the theory of why we're using it. So it is really just like, it's kind of like self treatment or self massage. So we're just using different object, be it a foam roller or tennis ball, to try and release some tension in the muscle. So generally, if you're talking about doing a round activity, I'd be recommending it to do it beforehand, because we can do it before and release some tension in the muscles. If the muscle's a little bit tense, we can make it slightly less tense, and even it can desensitize things a little bit then. So if there was any tightness or even any strains, it can help temporarily desensitize that. So I'm just going to go through four things today, four of the main areas really. So we'll start on a roller. So just grab your roller. We're going to start on the calves. So just with the calves, so pretty much just we'll start rolling away here. So literally just rolling along the calves like so. Now there's a couple of different ways we can do this. We can keep this other heel on the ground like so. That way you won't have too much pressure, but if you want, you can put that leg over the other leg. And then you can, if you want, slightly slide along ground, or you can even lift the arms up. Whichever way you can manage, that you have decent bit of pressure, but we don't need tons of pressure here. So one of the common mistakes people go is they think they need as much pressure as possible, and we're trying to break down knots and scar tissue and all this stuff. That's not what we're doing at all. If it's too tense, if it's too tender, then your body can actually even tense up a little bit, and we don't want to increase tension. We're trying to reduce it. So even if that leg over is too much, you can pop it down here, or even you can keep that up and slide along the floor, whatever works, whatever amount of pressure you can handle. Okay, so then just regarding the muscles then, so we have a few different calf muscles really. So what I generally would break it down into almost like 4 compartments. So we're doing on the lower part here, say. So we're not going up too much towards the knee, because it is hard to roll the whole muscle at once. So we'll break it into 4. So we're at the lower part, and then you can go on the outside or the inside. So I generally would test out each area and see which feels a bit more tender. Then just rolling along, obviously the one that feels a bit more tender, but you can go from the inside to the outside and just rolling along like so. And then we'll move to the upper area, which probably more people will feel things a little bit more. So going along the outside here, and again just looking for those tender spots and working through them, only as much pressure as you feel like you can. And then on the inside, same thing again, looking for any tender spots. And if you do find any tender points, for example, I have one there, pretty much in the center, we can do our pin and stretch. So we just hold the tension and then pull the foot towards the head. So we're holding the tension on the muscle and then adding a stretch to the muscle to try and get it to lengthen a little bit, which can again help desensitize things. It can help release some tension and loosen the muscle out after we do it. Couple more here. And we can relax with that, and we may as well just do the other side just while we're at it again. So again, just to go over those points, starting on the lower part, on the inside. And you can even check the outside, see which one feels more tension, and then just working through either the inside or outside or a bit of both, depending on how the tension feels. Again, you can have the leg over if you want. You can slide or any combination of those, just as long as you have enough pressure, but not too much. It again, like, it shouldn't be over a 4 or 5 out of 10 in soreness, you know. We'll just move up to the upper part there, and generally more people are gonna feel tenderness around the upper part. It'll be different for different people, so you do need to go searching around for those tender points. For me, even on, say, my right leg at the moment, I've quite a few more tender spots towards the outside there. So I might even throw my other leg over, get in a little bit deeper, and then I feel few there. So I'm just going to add in the pin and stretch, pulling. So we pin the muscle and then we stretch it by pulling the foot towards the head and then letting it relax. Pulling the foot towards the head and letting it relax. And okay, so that's our calves. Very good. And then it's the same thing really, just applying the same theory to the other areas. So I'll just take out my mic here. Right, so on the I'll go on my right quad first actually. So the key here is, so we're going to be on our elbows, and then the key is to have your other knee resting on the ground. I see loads of people go like this, and they're like almost holding this plank, and it's quite hard to maneuver around your quad. So open out this hip and rest that knee on the ground like so. And then again, what we want to do here is we'll break it down into 4 compartments. So we'll start on the upper quad. So just roll, so the rollers on your upper quad, and just start rolling along, first of all, along the center, just releasing a bit of tension. And what we'll do here, the way I generally break this down is so we're on the upper compartment, we'll say, and then we'll have the center and then the outside. So at the moment, I'm just going along the center of the upper one, just rolling along like so, just as much as you feel like you can handle. The other side of things here is we want to control our breathing as well. So it's an important thing really, that we don't want to be holding our breath. We're trying to actually get the muscles to release tension and relax. So if we're holding our breath or breathing really fast, you can actually, the whole experience, even on your muscle level, but even in the whole body itself, it can heighten almost stress levels in a way. We want things to relax. So just keep your breathing slow and controlled. Then the other side here is towards the outside. Now, not going all the way towards the outside of the thigh fully, but just slightly, almost pretty much along this area here, not the very outside of the thigh. I'll show you when I do the other leg properly now. And same thing, just rolling along there. And often people will have quite a bit of tenderness along that sort of area. And just working our way along here. And again, if we find any tender points here, we can do our pin and stretch. So by bending the heel into the bum and then back out. Okay, we'll just move along there now. So the lower part of the quad. And then along the center, first of all, again, just working your way along there. Keeping the breathing nice and slow and controlled. Very good. And then just going over to the outside again and rolling along the outside. And again, find any tender points, which a lot of you probably will, just bending your knee or your heel into the bum and back out and just working through here. Okay, we can relax with that one. Yeah, I haven't done that one in a while, so my quad's feeling it there. So same thing again here. The lower center part, just rolling up and down. I'm not going to go as long on this side now, but just to show you, yeah, just rolling up along the center, and then switching to the outside. So again, this is how much I'm rotating here, just that amount. So I'm not going all the way like that along the ITB area, just towards the outer quad. So the lower outer quad at the moment, rolling up and down, fairly tender for me again. Might add in a pin and stretch there. So pinning the muscles, stretching it by bending the heel to the bum. And then we'll just go to the upper middle part, rolling along. And the upper outside, rolling along again. And a couple of pin and stretches here. And we can relax with that. Good job. Okay, so yeah, so generally time-wise, you'd be looking at sort of 2 to 3 minutes sort of in each muscle area, but each muscle group. So for example, a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes here is pretty decent. But obviously, for everyone, you won't need to have to do the whole body, just the areas that have more tension. Okay, so and actually on that note as well, I actually find these smooth rollers better, to be honest. The spiky ones, and especially the really lumpy ones, it can just be hard to do too much when you're using those, because it can just be uncomfortable. Right, so, and the same thing here, I just find a tennis ball. So I'm literally just using a normal tennis ball. So I find that even better than the spiky ones, personally. Okay, so what we're aiming for here, the majority of people are going to have a bit of tension in the outer glute muscles here. So there's my hip bone, just where the white line is there, or my pelvis, we'll say, and then this is the pointy part of the hip bone at the bottom. So pretty much just behind that, around the circle area here. So we're going to be using the ball along like that. You can do it on the ground, but personally I actually find myself it better along the wall. So what we'll do is I'm just going to bring this in here. Yeah, so just like so. Bear with me now. Yeah, so you can get an idea here. Obviously it's hard to fully see everything exactly, but okay, so a couple, actually it might have moved even back a little bit there. So a couple of things here. So yeah, so the ball, I have the ball in that area there. So I'm gonna keep most of my weight. So actually before I even put the ball on the wall, we want to bend the two knees. So bend the knees a little bit, and then take the pressure off this right leg. So of the ball on the right glute, and we take the weight off the right leg. You can leave the foot, my toe is just resting on the ground, but we don't want to put weight on that right leg, otherwise the muscles will tense up. And then from here, all we're going to do is really just trying to maneuver our way around, just around the area that I was pointing beforehand. Just going small circles. Don't go too big, or else you'll lose parts of the muscle. And the best way of I find this myself, is just if you find a tender point, just go for your hold. Because just with the shape of the muscle, if you roll around loads and you're trying to go really fast, you can just lose the sight of the tender points there. Yeah, so just going for a few holds in certain different spots, so maybe 20-30 seconds. The pen should then drop a little bit, and then we move. You can even use your hand a little bit there as well to help. Just finding other areas then as well, and literally just using the pressure of the ball on those outer glute muscles to release some tension. Again, find another spot, holding that there. And you may even, some people might get referrals into the lower glute, or even slightly down the leg. That's a sign generally that it needs it. Yeah, so same thing on the other side. I'll just give you a view from there. Yeah, actually we won't even bother with that. You're not going to see too much, but yeah, so we get the idea there. Just working pretty much around this area here. The two key points are slightly bent knees and not pressure on that leg. And just working into that area again, a couple of minutes each side generally is quite good. Right, so last one then we're going to go with is, I'll just show you here again. So you're going to be on your shoulder blade essentially, so around this area here. So this is just one part of your couple of your rotator cuff muscles that for a lot of people can get quite tense. So the best way generally for most people is to reach underneath like so. And the majority of people, how far you can reach will literally be the right spot. So we're aiming to be on the lower part of the shoulder blade, pretty much. So we're going to be in that area. And then again, just using the wall here. So I'm on that spot there. And then I relax my arm down. Actually, do you know what? I missed one of the key points. So again, bending the knees and then put the ball on. The reason why we want to do that is because it allows us then to be able to move around easier. So if you don't bend the knees, we're almost trying to go up on the tippy toes. So just moving around. Again, don't go too fast, because you can lose, you can almost skip over any tender points. And if you feel any spots that are quite tender again, you can do small circle motions, very small, slow circles, or else just go for a hold. So at the moment there I have a tender spot that I'm holding. It's actually sending a bit of referred pain or tension into the front part of my shoulder here. And I have had previous issues with that right rotator cuff area, so yeah, it's a sign that it needs it really. So again, holding for about 20 to 30 seconds, slowing your breathing down. And yeah, and then just working through again. You can even just use your hand to adjust the ball a little bit there again, and just working your way around that area, not going too fast. So the common mistakes are hit with this are just going really, really fast, because you'll actually you'll skip over the tender points of the muscle with that. Yeah, and that is pretty much that. So just to make sure with that one as well, that we're on the shoulder blade itself, so it's going to be around that area around there, pretty much. So you don't go too close to the middle, really. You're pretty much all around that area. Okay. So yeah, so that's all the main points. So again, just to go over, the goal of this is to try and release tension in the muscle, and even to desensitize things a little bit, can loosen out the muscles a little bit as well. So therefore, doing it before your training or exercise is generally a good idea. You can do it after and even otherwise as well, but before is the most beneficial. And then, yeah, as I said, 2 to 3 minutes kind of on each area, but you don't need to do all these areas, even the ones that you feel the tension. If you're feeling tension, then that's a sign that you may need it. Yeah, and then just as much pressure as you feel like you can. You can add in either your holds or your pin and stretches, and just make sure to keep breathing throughout. And yeah, you should feel looser afterwards then.